Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to join you today at Text TESOL 5. My name is Cindy Kilpatrick, and I'm joined today by several members of the Literacy ConneXus team. Matthew Johnston, Katie Welch, Lester Meriwether, and Joan Grigsby will all be contributing to this presentation today. Our topic is taking your ESL skills and knowledge beyond the classroom. And the purpose of this session is to help you find out about volunteer opportunities in the DFW area. We know that as experienced ESL teachers and trainers, you have a heart for ESL, and we want to help you find ways that you can support ESL learners even outside of your classroom. We want you to consider different opportunities with nonprofits across the metroplex, whether they're faith-based like Literacy ConneXus or whether they're not. We have a number of different opportunities to share with you. As we get started, Matthew Johnston is going to share about some nonprofits in the Dallas area that might be interesting to you as ESL professionals. And then Lester is going to tell us about some specific opportunities at Literacy ConneXus that we hope you'll consider getting involved in as well.
So I want to start by sharing some statistics about Dallas and DFW and Texas as well, and then let's think about some different opportunities to volunteer. So 19% of DFW's population is foreign-born, and 31% speak a language other than English at home. 4.8 million Texans are in need of adult education services. And Dallas, in particular, is below average in literacy compared to other Texas counties. So all that to say, there are plenty of needs in Dallas and beyond. And for us as ESL professionals, there are many ways in which we can help those who need to learn English or need to acquire adult basic literacy. So as you think about volunteering, I think this chart will help for you to think about what is your capacity and how much of an ESL focus do you want to have outside of your regular 9 to 5. So maybe you're preparing lesson plans and you're teaching, 4 or 5 classes a week. So you might want to volunteer in ways that aren't ESL related. On the other hand, you have the professional skills and experience to be able to teach in an ESL classroom. So maybe you do want to use that experience and knowledge to serve others in a volunteer capacity. So we'll look at kind of both things. As you look at the bottom, it says time commitment, and as you move further left, these are kind of one-off opportunities to volunteer with an organization, maybe once a month or as the need arises. Then as you move further right, that's more of a time commitment, weekly, and then maybe twice a week or more than twice a week as you move further right. And then in terms of up and down, on the left you see it says ESL focus, and as you move up, you're moving into more and more ESL focus. So if you are lower, that's something that's volunteering that has nothing to do with ESL. As you get higher, that might be teaching an ESL class, and then the highest would be like teaching others to teach ESL. So let me quickly run through some different organizations where you can serve and volunteer. And this is mostly related to Dallas, but again, you'll find similar organizations or similar nonprofits around wherever you live. But let's start kind of in the bottom left. So these are not ESL related volunteer opportunities, and they are usually lower time commitment. So with the International Rescue Committee, this is a refugee resettlement agency, and in the past I have volunteered to deliver furniture or deliver kitchen supplies or food to different families, to usually refugee families who have just arrived in the United States. And if you go to their website, you can see different things that you could do, usually on a one-off basis. And most of what I saw was not ESL related, not education related, but these are things that you could do to serve the ELL population in Dallas or beyond. Refugee Services of Texas is very similar. It's another refugee resettlement organization, and they also have a list of different things that you could do to serve. and usually it's for refugees who have just arrived in the U.S. One of the things that my family and I have loved to do is to greet new families, refugee families from around the world, as they first arrive at the DFW airport. We get to hold up a sign and say, you're welcome here. Another one is Catholic Charities of Dallas, and they serve the refugee population, but they're a very large organization, and they serve internationals and immigrants, and really beyond just the refugee population. So one of the things they have is a mobile food pantry. I think they partnered with the North Texas Food Bank. So in the past, I've helped to register people who are coming to receive food from the mobile food pantry. They also need help to package the food. Let's move into some things that are a little bit more ESL related. Conversation partners is a great way to meet people, to talk with people from around the world, and it's great English practice for those who are learning English. And you might have this at your school already, but if you're looking to volunteer, I would say this is an easy way to get involved. There's no prep time, so you're not teaching a class, you're not lesson planning, but you can just sit down with someone else and have a conversation, practice English in that way. I want to highlight two organizations that are looking for volunteers right now: the Vickery Trading Company and the Northwest Community Center. They're actually housed in the same location in North Dallas, just off of 75 and Park Lane, across from the North Park Mall. So if you live nearby, they're looking for conversation partners, and you could help. I think an hour a week, maybe 2 hours a week at most. What if you want to serve children? Well, here's one of many ways that you could serve children. Refugee Resources has an after-school program, a literacy program, where you could volunteer once or twice a week and meet with a student, help them as they develop their literacy skills, help them as they learn English. Most of the students are refugees in the program, and it's a great way to serve as well. So I am assuming that most of us are ESL professionals, so you probably have the skills and knowledge and ability to teach in a classroom setting. And here is one of many different volunteer opportunities to do that, kind of outside of your work hours. Nexus Neighborhood Outreach is looking for volunteer English teachers and tutors who can serve both adults and middle school and primary school age students. So this is one way where you could use your skills and abilities to reach out to the broader community. And there are probably other nonprofits or churches or mosques or temples that are doing similar things, that have an ESL program and are looking for volunteers to teach or to tutor or to have conversation partners. So these are things that you are probably already skilled at, where you could volunteer and serve others. So I already mentioned churches and mosques and temples as places where you could serve. You can also think about your local school or local libraries where they might have ESL programs or other initiatives to serve the community. I do want to highlight Literacy ConneXus, and you'll hear more about that in just a moment, but I'm an apprentice in their Teaching English ConneXus training, and they train trainers. So I think that's a super effective and meaningful way to be involved, that you might be teaching in the classroom in your 9 to 5, but you have the opportunity to train others to be excellent English teachers as well. So I would highly recommend the TEX training and even getting involved as an apprentice to train other ESL teachers.
Hi, I'm Lester Meriwether with Literacy ConneXus. You might be wondering about that word ConneXus. It is a play on words, and it reminds us that literacy does connect us. And since 2004, churches have been helping people with literacy needs, working with all kinds of organizations to help people learn English as a second language, provide books for kids, and help the children of refugees. So we've been around for a long time, and our programs have changed from year to year. But one constant has been that we've been for more than just Dallas, Fort Worth. We've been all over the state of Texas, from El Paso to East Texas, from the Panhandle all the way down to the border. So we want to provide ways for people to think outside the box and find ways to serve through literacy, through English as a second language programs and so forth. One of the first examples of that is Ready for School. This program has been operating for about 8 years in Fort Worth. It's something, though, that is portable. It could be moved to Dallas or any other part of the country where there are refugees. It's a 20-week program where the parents of refugee children come with their kids and open the world of books to them, help them learn some skills that will be useful in kindergarten. And really, it's a great way for them to be oriented to participating in kindergarten across our metroplex. Another program that we do that relates to children is called What's for Lunch. Across the state of Texas, more than 200,000 children participate in summer meals programs. And what has been determined to be the case by research is that if kids read 6 books during the summer, they'll avoid the summer reading slide. So this program provides access to books for kids who are participating in summer meals programs. It does not give books away. It's essentially a mobile library. And so our intent is to increase the capacity of kids to keep what they learned during the past school year. We also see it as a dropout prevention program. What we know is that if kids are reading well by 3rd grade, they're less likely to drop out. And that's really important as we think about dropout prevention, preventing kids from turning into adults who can't read well and have to seek out programs like the one you're going to hear about from Joan Grigsby. So we'll now transition to Joan and then Cindy to learn more about ways you can serve through Literacy ConneXus.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joan Grigsby, and I'm honored to be invited this morning to present at your TESOL conference to tell you a little bit about Learn for Life, Literacy Education and Learning Network, which is a reading tutorial program in Tarrant County. Learn was developed in response to requests from adults in the community for help with reading. Most of the people who came to us did not have either a high school diploma or a high school equivalency certificate, although some had one or the other. So we began working with them in one-on-one tutorials as early as 2007. But in 2014, the Tarrant Literacy Coalition and Literacy ConneXus formalized the program as Learn for Life. The program continues today and also offers digital skills instructions as tutors are available to help. Our students generally have a reading level of about 3rd grade in English. They report difficulty reading longer words. Most often they reveal difficulty communicating in writing and spelling in the workplace, a real barrier for most of them. They are often seeking better jobs, but are not eligible due to educational deficits. Most often, they report having been offered promotions at work that they're unable to accept because of barriers in reading. Many of them have previously diagnosed learning disabilities or evidence of those learning disabilities. One thing in common, they all have dreams and goals for improvement. The students often come to us with other needs as well. Sometimes when they come to us to talk about reading instruction, they reveal other immediate needs such as employment right away. So in that case, we work to link them with community services such as workforce or Goodwill. Some of the students have serious transportation issues. They often work unusual hours. I don't have it here on the slide in front of you, but they often have no access to online skills or digital skills. To meet these needs, our tutors are fully trained and mentored. They're absolutely committed to their students. We are also an all-volunteer program. Our goals are to help our students progress and move up to reach their goals. I love the quote by Kobe Yamada saying that believe that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Believe that you might be that light for someone else. and that best describes our volunteer tutorial program. One of the things that's most important for any volunteer program is that people in the community are aware and that they care about the need that is there. In this particular poster, which is presented by Literacy Texas, it tells us that over 8 million Texans struggle with literacy, and I suppose there are probably more after this poster was created, an ongoing need in our community. So to meet this need, we ask that you consider volunteer efforts wherever it's convenient for you, maybe for tutorial and reading, maybe for digital skills, maybe for other related tasks, in whatever program you choose. Our program is sponsored jointly by the Tarrant Literacy Coalition and Literacy ConneXus. One thing that's very important is that we remember that we're all in this together to serve the people of our communities. So wherever your volunteer efforts lead you, I wish you blessings and the very best of luck in your service to others. Thank you for allowing me to be with you today at your TESOL conference.
So, hi, everybody. My name is Cindy Kilpatrick, and I want to now share with you about another initiative through Literacy ConneXus that is a great opportunity for individuals involved with ESL teaching or teacher training. So this is a part of Literacy ConneXus that we call Teaching English ConneXus. Now, Teaching English ConneXus provides trainings for volunteer ESL teachers because our goal is to provide support for volunteers in faith-based ministries. So across the state, we have text trainers who work to provide workshops for churches. Lots of other people join us as well to help brand new volunteer teachers learn how to teach ESL and what to do in their classroom. So what is a text training like? Well, these are a couple pictures actually of an actual text training we had. We really try to make our trainings interactive and engaging because we believe that as ESL teachers, we should make our classrooms interactive and engaging. So we try to model that for the volunteers that we're training when we do a text training. We try to make sure that we give our trainees ideas, real, true, practical ideas of what to do when they teach ESL. So we give them lots of activities to learn, and we try out many of them during our workshop. So as you can see on the screen, this is a matching activity. It's called Walkabout Matching, I believe, where participants in the room walk around and ask each other if they have a matching card. But it demonstrates for the students an activity that they can actually do in real life with ESL students in their classroom. So that's our goal, is that students walk out of the room with lots of ideas and activities that they can use next time they set foot in their classroom. In addition to activities, we really try to help students understand what a basic lesson plan might look like so that they can create a lesson with an objective that helps students learn something new in English that day. Now, when do our trainings happen? Well, most faith-based ESL programs run on a schedule similar, though not exact, to the academic year. So typically they want trainings in August or September as their fall classes are beginning, or they want them in January or February as their spring classes are beginning. So when they actually occur in that time period is a function of when trainers are available and when locations are available for the training. But usually it's August or September and January and February. For the training itself, a part of the training happens online. So it can happen anytime, right? So the students, the participants who register are sent a link to our online training, and they're asked to watch the recorded sessions before coming to the live training. And the recordings are about 3 or 4 hours total. It's self-paced. Participants can take as long as they want. They can watch them multiple times if they want, or they can get up at 4 a.m. the day of the training and watch for 4 hours straight. It is completely self-paced. But we also provide a face-to-face live training, also 3 to 4 hours. It is usually on Saturday mornings. There's some flexibility on that based on when locations and trainers are available, but it has been typical that Saturday mornings seem to be the most popular time to do that. And we usually run those for something like 9 to 1 or 8:30 to 12:30 or something. So you do a training and you're done and you still have most of your day left. So where do these trainings happen? I already mentioned that these happen most of the time for faith-based organizations. So local churches host, and typically the local church will provide some snacks and drinks for us. And it helps, rather than us having a single location where we always have our trainings, we can move around the metroplex and the state so that local churches can have a training close to them or host it themselves if there's not another one happening. We do this all over Texas. So I am a trainer in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So my trainings are typically in Dallas-Fort Worth, but I've gone to San Antonio for trainings. Our lead trainer, Karen, is in San Angelo. We have a Houston team. So no matter where you are in the state of Texas, you can schedule a text training to be done. If you are working with a faith-based organization and you have volunteer teachers that need to be trained, there might be possibilities coming beyond Texas, but for right now, we're mostly within the state of Texas. Now, volunteers join us from all over. So in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, that does mean we're a pretty big metroplex. That does mean that sometimes people have to drive a relatively long way to be able to come to a training. So the first training I ever attended was in Garland, and we had people from as far as McKinney. We had people from Fort Worth. We had people from all over who were driving in from another location. And that works, but if that drive is too far, then we can also look at trainings closer to home. Now, a major component of the text training program is the Text Apprentice program. And this is actually what I want you guys to know about, because the Text Apprentice program is actually an apprentice program for trainers to join our team and be fully trained and ready to run our workshops. So on the screen over here on the left, you see Karen Pizer. She is our lead ESL trainer, and I was her apprentice when I joined text training. So I worked with her in our apprentice training program. The apprentice works with a lead trainer and goes through all the different segments of the workshop with them. We observe them a few times, and then we try them out until we're comfortable. And once an apprentice is ready to take on their own workshops and do all of the different components of the workshops themselves, then they become a text trainer and not just a text trainer apprentice. So over here on the right, you see Olga. Olga is my current apprentice, well, one of my current apprentices, who is hopefully soon will be taking on her own workshops and running them. But right now, she is my partner in leading workshops in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and she's just a joy to work with. So our apprentice program prepares you to train volunteers in our workshops, and we're always looking for new apprentices. Again, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, but we need apprentices across the state to offer our workshops to a wider variety of programs and to more people. So if you're an experienced ESL teacher or you already have some teacher training under your belt, we'd love for you to consider whether or not joining the Tex Apprentice program is the right move for you, because we could certainly use experienced teachers who want to train volunteer teachers for faith-based or other ministries. Now, in order for you to think about that more, let's ask some questions to help you figure out whether or not text training is right for you. Do you love teaching ESL? If you love teaching ESL, text training might be the right choice for you. Do you want to train teachers? Do you want to help other teachers figure out how to teach effectively? If you do, then text training might be right for you. Do you have organizational skills, but maybe you don't feel like you want to be the person in front of the room doing the training? We have a text trainer assistant in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. And guys, I don't think I could do it without her. She keeps us organized. She runs our registration. She makes sure everybody gets their certificate of participation. She makes sure we show up with all the supplies we need. She is amazing. Thank you, Janice. You are amazing. So maybe you don't want to be the trainer in front of the room, but you want to contribute to text training in other ways. There are other opportunities for you. Another question, do you have a few Saturdays open? It's not every Saturday a year. We are not asking you to promise to spend 10 hours a week or even 10 hours a month. We're asking 2 to 4 times a year. Are you willing to come do a 4-hour training with us? And we have other conferences and we have some meetings and things like that, but the time commitment is really up to how much you are willing and able to contribute. Okay. Now, finally, the important question is, do you want to get involved in an awesome ministry and nonprofit? Literacy ConneXus and text training is a faith-based organization. And so if you're uncomfortable with that, we have lots of other options. But if you're looking for an opportunity in a faith-based organization, then this might be a great choice for you. You can talk to us. You can ask us questions at the end of this session, or you can email Karen@literacyconnexus.org, and she will be happy to answer any questions you have about text training as well. So as you think about this bigger picture, not just do you fit with text training, but where do you fit? How can you take your ESL skills and knowledge beyond your classroom and work with students outside of who you see every day? Where do you fit in? Well, I encourage you to remember that Literacy ConneXus is not the only option. It is an option, but it is certainly not the only one. You need to ask yourself, do I want to be in a faith-based organization or not a faith-based organization? Do I want to be teaching ESL somewhere else? Or do I want to be training ESL teachers? And one of the most important questions you have to ask is, am I ready right now? Am I ready to take that step? Or do I want to look around and see what organizations are the best fit for me? So as you think about that, and you're planning and thinking about the opportunities, I encourage you to ask questions. Call organizations, schedule appointments with them. You don't have to drive across the metroplex. Schedule a Zoom meeting with someone. Ask what you can do as a volunteer. Ask what they're looking for in their volunteers and how you can contribute as an experienced ESL professional. Read about the organizations, go on their websites, go and observe a class if you want to. Think about what you want out of your volunteer experience and pray about where you think you are being led to serve. Talk to other people, talk to volunteers in these programs. How do they feel about volunteering there? Talk to students, right? Are students happy? What are they looking for? Do they need something that you can provide? Talk to anybody you can about the organization and the opportunities to see if they're right for you. Think about your time and your talents. How much time do you have to contribute? If you want to volunteer every single weekend, text training might not be the right spot for you because we simply don't have trainings every single weekend. Maybe you only want to volunteer a few weekends a year. We might be great for you in that case. So think about your time, your talents. What are you good at? How do you want to contribute? And find the place that best fits those. And finally, I'm always going to encourage people to just do it. Go try something out and see if it's a good fit for you. If it's not, you'll serve a local population for maybe a short period of time, and they will be thankful for that. And you will grow through that experience by sharing your time and your talents with them. But that's not a career commitment for you for years down the road. So try something out, think about yourself, talk to people, and find the best place for you. Now, if you are looking for a place, I do want to make sure you know that there is a resource that can help. So TCAL is the Texas Center for the Advancement of Literacy and Learning, and they have a provider directory of adult education and literacy providers by county throughout the state. And it is a process to go on their website, and you can look for places who meet your criteria, who are in your area. So at this point, I am going to turn the screen over to Katie Welch, who is going to tell you a little bit more about how TCAL can help, and is going to walk you through how to use the TCAL website to find opportunities that might be the best choice for you. Thank you.
If you're interested in learning more about Literacy ConneXus or finding an organization that you can get involved with, I'm going to encourage you to go to literacyconnexus.org. This is our webpage, and you'll see as you scroll down many of the different ministries that we have talked about today and programs. But as you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll find a map where you can search. This map is going to take you to TCAL, Texas Center for the Advancement of Literacy and Learning. They have a very robust database of all of the nonprofit programs that are working in adult literacy and very often in English as a second language. When you scroll down to the TCAL website, you're going to see where you can sort by city. So if you're interested in finding something near you, for example, if you live in Addison, Texas, you could search there. You can go by organization type. There's a lot of different options here, but I'd encourage you to look at perhaps religiously affiliated literacy. Those are going to be your faith-based programs. Public library, obviously anything located in a public library, common place to find ESL programs, or just volunteer or community-based program. Or you don't have to select any of them and it will just look through all of them together. You can also look in services provided, and so if you're specifically wanting to look at English as a second language, you can sort by that as well. So there's different options here. You can search, and I'm just going to do an open search in Addison, Texas, and you'll see that what comes up is Workforce Solutions, AES Literacy Institute. I see Aspire, which formerly was Aberg Center for Literacy. This is a great program over in Dallas, etc. So you can go on down, you'll find the contact information and a little bit of information about each of these programs. So encourage you to take a look and see what's offered in your area.
So that's Literacy ConneXus, and we hope you've heard something that has intrigued you, caught your interest, or made you raise a question about how you could be involved with us. So we're here for you in the chat right now, looking forward to your questions.
Thanks, everybody.